I really appreciate the attention to cultural diversity in the wellness industry. And
We're building it in this way that creates a strong foundation, and it's
mm,
helping us get to know you and to
mm.
feel more of an intimate process.
I was born in the 70s, and so that was just the space where we did talent shows. We were just trying to make up stuff, make up costume, and
Part of the beauty of what you just told us in your journey is that it is like, I call it a special sauce, right?
Mhm.
All right. Hey, everyone. This is Marc and Andrea. We're here in Mukunda Studio, and we have Shereel with us. This is one of our presenters for our upcoming Spring Wellbeing Fair, and that's going to be next Saturday. So Saturday, March 16th, from 12 noon till 4 p.m. And this is our offering for sharing with folks different modalities, tools, education, inspiration, resources for well-being. And we see well-being as something that is our birthright, something that is already intrinsic to us. And we hope to offer things that inspire that part of you that already knows that you want to tap into that space, and that we give you some more ways to consider what that might be. Um, Andrea and I, we've been collaborating on this. So TendWell Collective and Mukunda Studio for this will be our sixth.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So 5 previous fairs, and Shereel has been with us for 3 of those fairs. So I want to introduce you, Shereel, and just tell us a little bit about who you are and some of the things you do.
Yes, thank you so much, Mukunda Studios and TendWell, Marc and Andrea, for having me on to share. Basically, I am a clinical herbalist. I'm a wellness coach. I'm a herbal trainer and educator. I'm a martial artist. I'm a qigong practitioner, and I'm a long-time dancer. And I still teach. And so I'm the sole proprietor of Exalted Natural Body Care Botanicals, where our focus is customizing herbal formulations to help support individuals through plant medicine. And so I do have my own clients. I also provide education and training as well through that brand. And I also like to do events like this to be able to, bring more awareness and more accessibility to herbal solutions to, the broader community. I teach dance at Deep Root Center for Spiritual Studies in Oakland, California. And then I teach at a couple of institutions here in the Bay Area, herbal institutions like Land of Verse, which is based, their online program, but the CEO is based in San Francisco. And I also teach at the Berkeley Herbal Center as well. And so it's been a real privilege to be able to, you know, teach in these herbal training programs here in the Bay. So that's kind of a nutshell is my background and what I do.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sherelle. You are definitely a multi-hyphenate. That's what they call them these days. And it has been such a pleasure for us to have you at multiple fairs. I think that it's, the community of practitioners that we're building is really helping people to create a team of experts to help them to achieve their well-being goals. So,
Mm.
just as a practitioner, what's been the value you've found from being a part of the well-being fairs in the past, and what keeps bringing you back?
Oh gosh, for a couple of reasons. I really appreciate the attention to cultural diversity in the wellness industry. And that's something that still is needed to give attention to. And I appreciate Marc and I appreciate Tinwell for just really spearheading that and providing a space where all people of all cultures and all backgrounds, and that it's not monocultural, that it's a mix of people in this industry doing really, really good work. And the second thing is just the studio is just so lovely. I just love being in there. I feel like I can just take a nap and just sleep real good for a good 8, 10 hours. I just really love how peaceful, and I just feel this overwhelming sense of inspiration. And I also appreciate how it inspires me to just be clear and focused. And so that's what I think being at that studio just inspires me to be in a mind space about that. Wow, this is what being clear in your focus looks like. This is what having really being being mindful of how you want to do a thing, and just putting that care and that attention and paying attention to details and how you do things. And so those things have inspired me, even how I present my offerings in this space, make sure that things are well presented and how they're labeled and how they're bottled, just to kind of match the environment. And I really appreciate how really this has given me the opportunity to get in front of just more people, and also to be in a space where wellness is accessible, where it's affordable cost, and that definitely gives me a way to help price out what I do, because I want people to buy my stuff. I want people to have access to the services that I offer. So it's just nice all around that I get to do that in this space and in this fair. And so I'm really grateful to you folks for just continuing to offer this, in that if to me, this is really a gem. And there's all kinds of fairs out there, but this is just really special and unique because of, again, the attention that you all put into it, and then also the locale, and also the fact that it's not like thousands of people, that it's a nice intimacy, and it's just really nice and warm and comfortable. And so that's something that I just really resonate with, and I just continue to draw inspiration from being a part of this fair.
That's awesome. Thank you.
So good to hear. And I think we are so intentional about the way that we want to build this, and we would love it to get somewhat bigger, but we love that we're building it in this way that creates a strong foundation, and it's
Mm,
helping us get to know you and to
mm.
feel more of an intimate process. And in that, you shared so many of the um, modalities that you are doing, and different ways that you share all that you do, from herbal medicine to qigong to dance, all these amazing things. I would love to hear of your journey that has taken you through all of that, and then maybe share any part of that story that you would like to highlight for us.
Wow. Well, really, my entrance, now that I see how that all converges, was, my dream was to dance. That was it from 9 years old. And and I was born in the 70s. And so that was just the space where we did talent shows. We were just trying to make up stuff, make up costume. And then of course Fame came out, right? So I loved Debbie Allen and wanted to be her.
Yeah.
So I And then, of course, the age of Michael Jackson and Paula Abdul and Janet Jackson and dance and video. And, as kids, we used to like try to learn the choreography, meet up at each other's house and try to practice and try to steal choreography and create our own. I mean, that was just something that I chased. That was the thing I thought I would just do forever, and that's it. And I'm grateful that I've been blessed to be able to do that, to travel, to tour, to dance with some of the Bay Area's most finest dance companies, and to have my own company, to teach. It's been a great career. But the shift, I never thought that I would love other things equally to dance. So this is where martial arts came in, and my husband, he one day he inspired me to train. He says, I really want you to be able to defend yourself in case I can't, I can't get to you quick enough or something. But it was interesting that my father was also a martial artist. He was a fierce martial artist, and he was also in law enforcement. And so as a kid, he would try to teach me. And of course, I'm growing up and I get all girly. It's like, Dad, I want to do that, so that I stopped doing all that stuff, right? But lo and behold, it wasn't until way after he had died, and I started training in 2012. That's, when I started that journey. But then I didn't really take it serious because it's like, I'm a dancer, not a fighter. Why would I ever need this stuff, right? So it wasn't until really when I started training at the current school where I am, where I really began to develop a love for it, because I'm also learning the principles of fighting and the principles of the art, that it isn't just the fighting, but what's underneath that that's going to help us to be able to better self protect, excuse me, and to also be able to understand who we are and how to weather our own battles within ourselves, and then also with interpersonal communications. That really is the real kung fu, y'all. So it's just being just dealing with people, dealing with interpersonal relationships. That's where the kung fu really shows up, and that's where you have to like apply those principles and to see kind of how you land and what you do. So then there was that, and then in 2016, definitely I was called to herbalism, and my grandmother was my first herbal teacher. And so, and she was just, this woman who was a naturalist and doing things at a time where, now that we're like organic and vegan and yada yada yada, that was just like, that wasn't the thing then, but it was a thing with her. She wasn't vegan, but she was a naturalist. She believed in fresh food and, you know things that were chemically treated. She believed in like growing things fresh because she was a horticulturist as well. And so she was just that woman who really poured that into us. But again, I didn't think I would ever get into the herbal space. But 2016 was the year. And so I started my training over at the California School of Herbal Studies. And I started in their first 2 terms in herbal crafting and body systems. And then time had passed, and I, started, seeing my own clients, if you will, starting with my family. And then my herbal teacher asked me to teach at the California Women's Herbal Symposium. And so I didn't think that I would be teaching this soon. I didn't think that. I was just gonna like sell stuff and make stuff and like everybody else is doing. But no, no, no. Teaching became, just the doors just started to really open for me to be able to be in these spaces, and then to begin to do some real advocacy around cultural diversity in herbal education and really herbal learning, and really just kind of deconstructing what is Western herbalism. And so this is when I started really getting heavy into researching Black North American herbalism, which is the thing that I teach a lot because it's not taught in a lot of herbal spaces. So then here I am now. I've done stuff with traditional medicinals, with people science, and with Cornell University, and all these different places and collaborations that has brought me to. And so that's herbalism. And then with, like I said, with Qigong, Tai Chi, Kung Fu was through my teacher, Master Sheldon Callahan over at Deep Root Center for Spiritual Studies. He kind of, I view him as the person who kind of fine-tuned me and shaped me. Because I didn't start with Shaolin Kung Fu. I started with White Crane Silat, Indonesian style kung fu, and then before that I started with judo. So, but he's the one who really just kind of really shaped and refined and polished and really is it and still just teaching what's underneath these things that's going to help me just move through society a little bit better. So with all of those things, it's like how do they coalesce? And so I realized that dance, herbs, martial arts, tai chi, kung fu, they all work together really, even though they're nuanced. But underneath it all, there is an embodying principle of just taking care of oneself and how to uh, deepen your awareness about who you are, what you do, what you say, how you move in life, being able to pivot, being able to, sometimes you got to be in and be out, being able when you have to defend yourself, all those things. And so that's wellness too. But I think really a bigger piece to that is also how do I treat people?
Mhm.
Yeah, because I believe personally that you can't talk about well-being if you don't treat people well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people matter. So that's what has been really coming home just for me personally, and how to live that out. And so they all converge at some point, but these individual disciplines and modalities have helped to instill discipline, but also see the overarching relationship, and that is life itself, and just how to live this life as best we can, and then also how we treat people in this life. So that's kind of probably more than what you asked for, but that's
Perfect.
kind of how that works for me.
Yeah, no, and I think that part of the beauty of what you just told us in your journey is that it is like I call it a special sauce, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the ingredients of that special sauce, like the sauce that gets us from, exhaustion, disease to well-being, is really different. That journey is
Mm-hmm.
going to be different for everyone. And that's sort of one of the things, one of our goals in creating the well-being fairs is giving people a taste of all the
Mm-hmm.
different ingredients. For some people, it's going to be, kink. We've had someone here before who found her punk rock and kink were the things that like saved her, that liberated her, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
had people who have done dance, and people, so everybody has it takes lots of different components. It takes the discipline and the perspective and ideas of lots of different, different ways of being in order to find that special sauce. And I think for a human being walking on the planet, that's kind of the purpose of why we're here, right? If we get a little deeper, like, we spend all of our time working, making money, gaining weight, losing weight, making friends, losing friends, those types of things. But actually, if we really could boil it down to all of the things that we're doing every day is really just another opportunity for us to know ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to treat people better by treating ourselves better, right? And being
Mm-hmm.
mindful and aware of what's around us and what we're bringing into our lives and what we're deciding, creating boundaries. What if we're deciding like, oh no, you know what? I don't think I want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
I thought it was judo, but then after I tried this, I was like, maybe it's not judo. And then that doesn't make judo a waste of time.
Oh, no,
You
not
know
at
what I
all.
mean? It's just like
Yeah.
it's building and building and building. So I think it's so beautiful. I'm so glad that you shared your journey with us. It's really
Oh,
beautiful.
no worries. Thank you. And it's definitely a journey, and I love that word because, the person I was when I just from it being a dancer and as a career dancer, I never thought that I would see this version of myself. This wasn't even in my mind space. I just was like, I'm gonna dance, honey. I'm gonna do this. And I did it, but I didn't think I would love anything like I didn't think my love for anything else would be as strong. I thought that it was just dance would just be the thing that I would just do forever. But it's now that it's like it's okay that it has evolved and that I still love it, but I'm not married to it. I'm not married to it in the way that I was before.
We have a similar approach in that way because, as you know, I have that dance background. And I used to call it, I had this art umbrella that was
Mm-hmm.
kind of above everything in my life. It helped me understand all the different facets of life through this artist lens. But then at
Mm.
some point, as I went on my yoga journey and my spiritual practice, a new umbrella popped up. Well,
Mm-hmm.
it's more of this holistic spiritual
Mm-hmm.
umbrella. And I said, that's
Yeah.
what everything lives under.
Right.
And there's probably going to be another one at some point where
Yeah.
Mhm.
so it's just when we find that thing that helps us resonate, that's why we're so stoked, is we want to help people find that thing that resonates and says, yes, my being is important. My being
Mm-hmm.
is important to myself and others.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Mm-hmm.
so excited that this is coming up, that we're a week away. We feel you know, ready, I think.
Yeah.
And we'll be looking forward to seeing you here and remind everybody that's watching this can be done in person or live stream. You can come and go between the 12 and 4 o'clock time. There is a schedule on our new website, sfwellbeingfair.com, where you can see what's happening, when is Shereel offering things, etc. So thanks for taking time with us, Shereel.
Yes.
Thank
And
you for having me. I'm looking forward to being there. I'm looking forward to seeing your lovely faces. This is great. And again, you guys are doing such a great job. Kudos. And thank you for having me again. I'm really grateful.
Mm.
see you next
Right,
week.
y'all. Take care, dear. Okay.